Let's now have a look at what is the value of the swap. So if we now introduce PV of the swap at time t, and let's now think about the pair swap. So the one where we pay the fixed leg. So the PV of the swap, we will receive the floating leg, so we'll take the PV of the floating leg minus the PV of the fixed leg. So that's just straightforward. But what we can realize is that we can simplify this into the basis point value of the fixed leg at time t multiplied by the swap rate for that period minus the contractual rate of the trade. So this is the market swap rate and this is the fixed rate of the swap. Evidently, if the swap is trading at market, this one would be 0 and the entire swap would be 0, remembering that the definition of the market swap rate is the one that equates the floating leg to the fixed leg. But here you can see that if we pay a lower rate than the market, the swap has a positive value to us, and reversely, if we pay a high rate, the swap has a negative value to us. So that's one key observation. We'll come back to the risk of the swap shortly. Another way to look at the swap could be to utilize the definition of the floating leg. So we could also think of the swap value in the following terms. We could still take the basis point value of the fixed leg at t, and then we could remember that the swap rate was in essence a weighted sum with a specific set of weights of all the forward LIBORs. But now we're going to receive floating payments and pay fixed, so we can now express the swap value as the current forward LIBOR rates minus a contractual rate. We may need to adjust this one a little bit due to conventions, and I can show you exactly how. So we could do K mark would be the original contractual fixed rate of the swap, and the adjustment needed would be the ratio of the basis point value of the fixed leg relative to the basis point value of the floating leg. That is to cater for the difference in day count conventions and frequencies. So that gives us yet another insight. So now we see that the value of the swap depends on the contribution of each of the forward LIBOR rates relative to the fixed rate. The contributions come with a set of weights that we actually defined on a previous slide. They relate to the coverage of the floating leg, the notional of each of the period, the discount factor to the payment date, and everything relative to the basis point value of the fixed leg. And as we recall, these weights didn't exactly sum to 1, but very close to. So now we can see we can look at the swap in two ways. The swap value either as a function of market swap rate or as a function of all the LIBORs. And naturally, these two are closely interlinked, as you'll soon realize.